Hi everyone, it's Kimber from Peak Fitness Studio. I wanted to share with you one of my favorite children's books to use when I do kids yoga. And the reason why I'm choosing this book to share with you guys today is because we're about a week in to being quarantined basically inside our homes. And this book is a lot kind of about what we're experiencing right now. This is the time that I find that my kids are starting to really miss their friends, their cousins, their teachers at school. So I'm sure that a lot of you are feeling that same way. And this book kind of explains that even though we can't all be together physically, like right next to each other, we still are connected by our feelings we have for each other in our hearts. So the story I'm going to read to you today, it is called The Invisible String. The woman who wrote the words, or the author of this book, is Patrice Karst, and then the person who drew all the pictures, the illustrator, his name is Jeff Stevenson. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing this story with you. I'll share some pages as I read. If you have the book and you want to read along with me, you can. All right. Liza and Jeremy, the twins, were asleep one calm and quiet night. And suddenly it began to rain very hard. Thunder rumbled until it got so loud that it woke them up. "Mommy, Mommy," they cried, and out they ran to her. "Don't worry, you two. It's just the storm making all that noise. Now go back to bed." "But we want to stay close to you," said Jeremy. "We're scared." Mom said, "You know we're always together no matter what. But how can we be together when you're out here and we're in bed?" Mom held something right in front of them and said, "This is how." Rubbing their sleepy eyes, the twins came closer to see what Mom was holding. "I was about your age when my mommy first told me about the invisible string." So if you look really closely, you can see the mom. She's holding an invisible string. "I don't see a string," said Jeremy. "You don't need to see the invisible string. People who love each other are always connected by a very special string that's made of love." "But if you can't see it, how do you know it's there?" asked Liza. "Even though you can't see it with your eyes, you can feel it with your heart. And know that you are always connected to everyone that you love." When you're at school and miss me, your love travels all the way along the string until I feel a tug on my heart. And when you tug it back, we feel it on our hearts, said Jeremy. "Does Jasper the cat have an invisible string?" Liza asked. "She sure does," said Mom. "And best friends like me and Lucy?" asked Liza. "Best friends too." "How far can the string reach?" "Anywhere and everywhere," said Mom. "Would it reach me even if I were a submarine captain deep in the ocean?" asked Jeremy. "Yes," Mom said, "even there." "Or a mountain climber?" "Yep, even there." "A ballerina in France?" "Even there." "A jungle explorer?" "Even there." "How about an astronaut out in space?" "Yes, even there." Then Jeremy quietly asked, "Can my string reach all the way to Uncle Brian in heaven?" "Yes, even there." "Does the string go away when you're mad at us?" Never, said Mom. Love is stronger than anger. And as long as you have love in your heart, the string will always be there. Even when you get older and can't agree about things like what movie to see or what game to play in the back seat or what time it is to go to bed, that's right, you two should be in bed. And with that, they all laughed as Mom chased the twins back to their beds. Within a few minutes, they were asleep, even though the storm was still making the same loud noises outside. As they slept, they started dreaming of all the invisible strings they have, and all the strings their friends have, and their friends have, and their friends had, until everyone in the world was connected by invisible strings. And from deep inside, they could now clearly see that no one is ever alone. And that's the end. So that's why I really like this story to share with you guys today, because even though you might not be able to go over to play at a friend's house, or we can't go to school right now and see our awesome teachers, we have that invisible string that connects our hearts to their hearts. And that should make us feel really good and a little safer and feel a little better about everything that's going on right now. And if you want, you can make your own invisible string, and maybe you can put it in the mail and mail it to a friend or a teacher, or grandma or grandpa, and that would make them super happy. And you could call them on the phone or FaceTime them and explain to them what the invisible string is. I made one with some stuff I just have around my house. So I had just some clear stretchy band. You could use thread or ribbon or whatever. And then I just cut out a red heart out of construction paper. And then you can tie it up and you can wear it as a necklace, or you can just hold your invisible string so you know that when your heart is thinking about somebody else, that we're always connected. So I thought that what we would do now is just some nice relaxing and calming yoga, because things are a little crazy right now, so maybe it would just be great if we took a few moments to just calm down and relax and try and really focus on that invisible string and how everyone is connected to each other through love and their invisible strings. So I'm going to slide back to my yoga mat, and you guys can all grab a yoga mat, a blanket, a towel, anything that you have at home. You don't need to have a yoga mat. If you're on carpet, you can just sit on the carpet. So anything that you might have that you could pretend to be a yoga mat, you can use that. If you have a yoga mat, go and grab it, and then we'll meet on our mats. I'm going to scoot back a little bit so you can see me all the way when we start doing some more yoga poses. But for right now, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to sit crisscross applesauce, and we're going to put one hand on our heart and one hand on our belly. We're going to close our eyes, and we're just going to breathe. And as you take a big breath in through your nose, I want you to lift your shoulders really high. So as you breathe in through your nose, shoulders lift. And as you let the air out your mouth, shoulders relax. So inhale, deep breath in through your nose like you're smelling a flower. Shoulders lift, chest lifts. And then as you let that air out through your mouth, blow it out like you're blowing a pinwheel or blowing petals off the flower. Feel your shoulders nice and relaxed. Inhale up. And then exhale out. We say sometimes in yoga that you take shorter breaths in, longer breaths out, because that's when you really relax your body, is on those exhales. We can do the same move when we lay down on our backs, and you can really feel the lift and lower of your belly and chest. So if you want to try that, you can swing yourself around, and then you can lay all the way down on your mat, and you can put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and I want you to look at the ceiling, up at the sky, and take a deep breath in through your nose. hold on to that breath, feel that chest lift, and then blow all that air out your mouth. Feel everything sink back to your belly. One more time, breathe in through your nose, let your chest lift, shoulders lift, and then as you exhale, feel that air go back down to your belly, shoulders go back down. Nice job. Now I want you to give yourself a big hug. So you're gonna bring your knees into your chest. You're gonna wrap your hands around your shins. That's that long bone right here below you. And then I want you to try and pull your forehead towards your knees like you're a roly-poly bug. So you're gonna squeeze your chin to your chest. We're gonna tighten up. This is how we feel sometimes when we're scared or angry. We get all tight and we wanna be relaxed. So we're gonna start to relax now by reaching our arms way overhead. Reach your legs super duper long. This is what we call in yoga a good morning stretch. And then we're just gonna, one more time, give yourself a hug. Bring your forehead to mat. Scrunch up like a roly-poly. And then bring everything out. Stretch out your legs, stretch out your arms. And then one more time, pull your knees to chest. You're gonna roll yourself up. And then you are going to get into our first yoga position. It is tabletop or all fours. And you can kind of see why we call this tabletop because they kind of look like a table right now, or we call it all fours because I'm on 4 parts of my body. My 2 hands and my knees, my 2 knees. So this is just what we call a nice tabletop or all fours. My shoulder and my elbow and my wrist all match up and my hip bone is right over my knee here. Now we're gonna get to do something super fun. We're gonna get to pretend to be a cow and a cat. And so when we get to be a cow, we're gonna press our forehead through. We're gonna shoot our booty back. So one more time, we're gonna kind of stick your booty back, lift your forehead. Your belly's kind of hanging. So if you think of a cow, the cow's back is arched and its udders where the milk comes out of kind of hang to the ground. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to look like a cow here. You can say moo if you want. And now we're gonna try and be a cat. So I want you to think about a cat hissing and how it arches its back. And I want your chin on your chest and you can say meow if you want. Now you're gonna come back to that tabletop all fours and find your cat again, chin to chest. Bring your belly button to your back and come back. And now we can put those 2 moves together. We can be a cow and a cat just like this. We can go cow, moo, and then we can be a cat, meow. And then we can come back to our tabletop where we have a nice flat back. And now we get to be a dog. So if you have a dog, you've seen your dog kind of like stick his booty back up and he comes down on his front legs. So that's called down dog in yoga. So I want you to tuck your toes. So right now my toes are flat on my yoga mat. I want you to tuck them so you're kind of pressing on your toes. And all you're gonna do is just straighten your legs. And that is what we call down dog. Your head just kind of hangs between your 2 arms. If you cannot straighten your legs, okay, that's okay. You can kind of bend your knees. So we go from our tabletop all fours, and then we reach our legs long to down dog. And then we just start to walk our hands towards our feet, and then I want you to bend your knees and grab onto your opposite elbow. So one hand grabs one elbow, one hand grabs the opposite elbow, and your head just hangs here. You kind of bounce around a little bit. Feels very, very good. The blood's kind of rushing to your head. That helps us calm and relax as well. And then I want you to try and reach your legs long and try and reach for your toes. Oh, it took me a long time to reach my toes. So if this is your first time doing yoga and you can't reach your toes, that is okay. You're gonna take your palms, the bottom of your hand, and just press them right here on those shin bones. And you're just gonna hold it here. If you can reach your toes, then reach your toes. If you can't, no biggie. And then I just want you to try to be a snail because I want you to go really slow. And you're gonna slow, slow, slow roll all the way up until your head is looking forward. I'm gonna turn and face you guys so you can see me a little better. And I want you to reach all the way up like you're a mountain, like a peak of a mountain, or you're a rocket ship about to take off. And then you're gonna swoop one hand down, one hand over. Nice stretch here. And then come all the way back up to that mountain or rocket, and then do the same thing on that opposite side. And then you're gonna come all the way back up, and then we're gonna be scarecrows. You're gonna bend your elbows so they line up with your shoulders, and then you're just gonna lift your chin a little bit up. And then you're gonna lift back up to that mountain or rocket, and then we're gonna be a rainbow, and we're gonna rainbow our arms all the way down to our toes. And remember, if you can't touch your toes, you can put your hands on your shins. So one more time, I want you now to rainbow all the way back up, reach all the way over, come all the way back to that mountain or rocket, and then reach all the way over, come all the way back up, and then you're gonna be that scarecrow where you bend your elbows to line up with those shoulders. And then you're gonna reach up again, and then you're gonna rainbow your arms all the way down to touch your toes. And now I want you to bend your knees, and I'm gonna look the other way so you can see myself sideways. You can stay right where you are. So you're here. I want you to sit down so your bottom is touching your heels, and then you're gonna bring your hand to your heart, and I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think of the person that you really miss seeing. Maybe it's a friend at school. Maybe it's grandma or grandpa. Maybe it's your teacher. I want you just to start to really think about them. And I want you really to think about how that invisible string connects to your heart and their heart. And while you're thinking about them, we're going to slowly start to sit down on our bottom. And we're gonna reach our legs nice and long here. And you can see my toes are reaching up to the sky. That means my feet are flexed. But now I want you to point your toes so they're facing forward. And then I want you to reach your toes to the sky. And then I want you to point your toes, and then one more time, reach them to the sky. Now I want you to reach your arms, try and reach your toes. And then you're gonna start to pull your belly button back to your spine until you're laying all the way flat on your mat. So you're gonna come all the way down to you're laying flat on your mat. And then I want you to see if you can take, so the bottoms of your feet touch. So you're almost like a butterfly. If I turn this way so you can see, I'm gonna put my bottoms of feet to touch as I lay all the way down. And then I want you to take one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And then I want you to close your eyes. And all I want you to do is breathe. And I want you to relax. And I want you to think about that friend or teacher or family member that you connected your invisible string to. I want you to think about maybe what they're doing right now. And just breathe. And then I want you to stretch one leg nice and long, and then the other leg nice and long. And then bring your hands way over your head. And then I want you to bring one hand down by your side, and then the other hand down by your side. You might have felt your feet just flap out, and that means you're nice and relaxed. Keep your eyes closed. Take some nice breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And then we're just going to start to slowly sit ourselves up. We're gonna sit again, crisscross applesauce. This is how we always end our yoga session, as we bring our hands to heart center. So you kind of make an L shaped with your hands. Your palms are pressed together. You're gonna take your thumb, press it into the middle of your chest. You're gonna close your eyes, and you're just gonna remember that during this time, it's a little bit crazy, but we have to keep being kind. I know you've been spending a lot of time maybe with your brothers or your sisters, but we have to remember to be kind. We have to carry kindness in our heart. And then we bring our thumb right outside our mouth. It's kind of a reminder for us to use kind words when we're talking to each other. It's also a reminder that when we're talking about ourselves, we should use kind words too. Don't forget to be kind to yourself as well as others. And then you bring your thumb to the middle of your forehead. In yoga, we call this your third eye. And it's just a reminder that you are the person who really decides whether you're going to wake up and be happy or you're going to wake up and be maybe crabby. And right now, what we need for everyone is just to be kind, be patient, be calm, be happy. And remember, as we bring our hands back to the center of our chest, to heart center, remember that connection you have with everyone. Even though they're not right in your house sitting next to you, we're still all connected as long as we have love in our hearts and know that everyone is thinking about you and they have that invisible string from your heart to their heart. I hope you really enjoyed listening to the story of the invisible string and doing some yoga here at my house. And I hope that now you can go maybe make an invisible string and heart, and maybe you'll send it away to a friend or family member. And look for some more kids yoga sessions in the next couple of days. Thank you.